Welcome here at Crypto Hash. If you will be educate and disseminate information about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies from a Muslim perspective. And welcome here on my rocket ship as we head to the moon. And today we have some news, some important news to cover. So starting off with what happened yesterday. So yesterday, it came to our knowledge that in Indonesia, some shaykh over there, some scholars over there had a meeting. One of the biggest organizations had a meeting, and they decided that cryptocurrencies were haram. And they didn't discriminate between Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. They just said cryptocurrency is haram, so therefore Bitcoin would be included in that. And this is not something we've seen. It's not something we haven't seen already. And they cited many different reasons for this. One of them was this price volatility. So let's ignore the fact that the Indonesian rupiah lost 80% of its purchasing power in 1 year, between 1997-98, then gained 150% in purchasing power or in value the following year, and then lost it 50% or 6% the following year. Let's forget that volatility because that's okay. But as for volatility in Bitcoin, then yeah. And a few other things, which is not something we haven't heard already. We've addressed this already on our channel, so please refer to our replies to those who say that Bitcoin is haram in our many videos already covered already. Interesting enough, for those who don't believe me that we're heading to the moon, let me show you. So if you look up above, we see that we are actually heading up towards the moon. Anyway, let's continue. For those who don't believe. Next one, MicroStrategy. So those who don't know what MicroStrategy is the company that is primarily owned by Michael Saylor. Sheikh Saylor. Michael Saylor is gone in really heavy with Bitcoin and is practically thrown in everything but including the kitchen sink. And apparently he has increased his holdings by 8,900 Bitcoin. Basically everything that he owns, everything that MicroStrategy owns, he's buying Bitcoin. And on top of that, he's even taking out loans, riba loans, to buy more Bitcoin. Ridiculous, but that's what he's doing. And he's already up insane amount of money. I mean, he got Bitcoin when it was about 10,000, so it's now up to 60,000. So there's 6x on his money already. Can you imagine what would be the case if Bitcoin breaks over 100,000, even 200,000? That would make his company probably the most richest companies in the world just by buying Bitcoin. Anyway, also it has been mentioned that Bitcoin is going according to Plan B. Those who are unaware of Plan B, he has a projection of where Bitcoin will be, where it's going to go to, and he reckons that Bitcoin will reveal my green screen there that Bitcoin will essentially get to, he had a prediction of $280,000 by the end of this bull run cycle, but it says here that this particular month, I think he gave a prediction that this month should close at 63,000 minimum. So we have one more day left to collect, to go up another 2% to fulfill that prediction. Reading in the tea leaves. Obviously, no, that's confident. That's a joke. Calm down. Also, we have mentioned it yesterday about Mana and Sand and other projects that refer to the metaverse had been going through the roof. Oh my days. Allahu Akbar. Today we have seen it going parabolic. Mana already went up 60% yesterday. It went up 20% the day before that. Today it touched 100%. This is compounding, by the way. So 60% was yesterday, was on top of the 20% before that. And 100% today was on top of all that happened before. Ridiculous amount of money. Now, you know I'm a Bitcoiner. Bitcoin all day long. But I do actually appreciate that some projects may actually be or trying to achieve something useful. And I believe Decentraland is one of those good ideas. I don't agree with the fact that they have to have their own token, because technically speaking, you could do everything that you need to do on Decentraland with Lightning or use Bitcoin. It'd actually be even cheaper. But they're taking their route of issue their own tokens. They did that in 2017. So that one and Sand has gone up ridiculously, and we suspect it's to do with what's his face? Facebook, saying they've changed their company to Meta, and they want to embrace the metaverse. Those who've seen the film Ready Player One and Free Guy and the other these films that refer to the game space, you could say. So this is another example of gaming now touching upon the real world, you could say, where you now live your life in this cyberspace. It's happening, it's coming, and today was ridiculous price gains for those who had mana. Another one, Kazakhstan expects at least 1.5 billion in economic activity from crypto mining within 5 years. And it actually mentions that I think Kazakhstan is on its way to being the second largest crypto or country in crypto mining for Bitcoin. Now that's interesting because I'm sure Kazakhstan is a Muslim country, which is good news. I mean, we've always thought, oh, Muslims are not embracing Bitcoin and whatnot, but it looks like maybe we are actually embracing Bitcoin, just under the radar. Yeah, not the Muslim countries like Saudi and UAE and Pakistan. Well, Pakistan's different because actually Imran Khan did say and he did encourage the Pakistanis to actually mine Bitcoin. So let's hope that goes well. But yeah, it's happening. It is happening. Here's another one. Former Goldman Sachs executive Roel Powell. Everyone knows Roel Powell. He initially went all in on Bitcoin early this year. I think early last year, sorry, when he discovered crypto, and then all of a sudden he went all in on Ethereum and more than Bitcoin even. And he's even mentioned some of his other coins that he's got and saying it has a great bright future. And he reminds me of myself in 2017, to be honest. 2017, when whenever someone's new to crypto, they come to Bitcoin, then they go from Bitcoin to other altcoins, and they think, oh, these other altcoins will get me lots of gains. And then people start going all in on these other coins, and sometimes people get wrecked, probably more often than not. So he does seem to be pretty much how most people are when they're new to the space. Maybe he might mature and realize where things are, and I don't disagree with the fact that these altcoins would perform better in the short term right now, obviously, but in terms of long term, I don't think that they have much legs in them, because most things can be done with Bitcoin. Even with Decentraland, which uses its own currency, all of that could be built, or you can use Lightning within that. So having another token seems almost pointless, but it doesn't mean you can't do what you need to do. Make a token if you want to, and if it takes off. A few more bits of news. Lightning Network has got some upgrades. Now this is a very interesting one. So those who know about Lightning Network, so as you know, the way Lightning Network works is that two people will come together and make a channel. What is a channel? I put money into this pot, you put money into this pot, and we will basically transact between each other in this multi-signature transaction, this pot of money. And if you try to steal my money, then I have permission, or I have a means to broadcast the transaction to prove that you try to cheat me, and then you lose your money. That's how Lightning kind of works at the moment. Now, in my head, I was thinking, yeah, in Islam, that's how it works. I mean, if someone takes your money and you can get it back in it. As for taking his money off of him, bit of an odd one. But there's been this upgrade which happened recently, actually changes the way in which the mechanism works, and now you should in theory be able to just get back your money without needing to take his money. So it's basically a mechanism which prevents theft of money. I'm not going into the details because I listened to the podcast and it was very technical. So I'll put the link in the description below if you want to check out the details about it. But needless to say, the way it currently works now is that if someone tries to issue an old transaction or an old state of the agreement that says they have more money, hence take my money, and I have a newer state, which proves that I have more money, and I broadcast this newer state after they broadcasted the older state, I could basically take their money off of them as a penalty for trying to broadcast an older state or an older condition of the agreement, hence trying to steal my money. That was an incentive to prevent people from misbehaving. If you act badly, your punishment is to lose your money. But the way they got around it now, I mean, they've got around it in a way that you can actually just, if someone tries to cheat you and take your money off of you, you can just broadcast the current state and get your money back. So no need for any penalty, which, Islamically speaking, does seem more clean. And hopefully this works out. And it is, there are a lot of benefits in terms of not needed to keep record of all the previous states and on transactions. You can just keep record of just the most recent transaction. That's the most recent transaction update on the Lightning Network. And it mentions here that Steve Wozniak knows. He's having a quote from Steve Wozniak, the co-founder of Apple. He says, "There can never be another Bitcoin," highlighting that the way Bitcoin came into existence is a unique, some call it the Immaculate Conception. Obviously very Christian, it's Christianified, but basically a way you can't replicate that same manner of coming to existence again. So whatever features Bitcoin has is unique to Bitcoin. And finally, there has been a massive boost in traveling and using Bitcoin to pay for your travels. There's a website called Travala, as in I'll spell it for you, Travala, Travala. What's good about them is that they allow you to pay for your travels, hotels, whatnot, using cryptocurrencies. They're primarily focused on that one. I even give you like rebates and cashbacks. So they've had a massive uptake in people wanting to purchase holidays using their cryptocurrencies, and it makes sense. Why not? People seeing gains, they want to go on holiday. Maybe some want to make hijrah. So, and that's enough for today. Inshallah ta'ala, we will catch up tomorrow, maybe, or maybe I might do something else tomorrow. Hopefully Allah grants you and bless you with plenty Bitcoin. And if you was on that manner that Decentraland trained today, well done. Well done. Just don't forget why you're really here. Bitcoin. Anyway,